Hey y'all, welcome back to the garden. We might be packing away the porch swings and pulling out the cozy blankets, but don't let that fool you. There's still plenty of life happening right under our feet. Did you know that what you do right now can determine how your garden performs next year? Stick around, because I'm sharing 7 incredible winter gardening hacks that will transform your soil and give you the healthiest plants in spring without spending a dime. Now you know me. I like to keep things simple and natural, and these tips are all about working nature, not against it. We're going to give your garden that extra dose of love and care it needs to rest up and come back even stronger next season. If you want to learn something from this video, don't drag it and watch it from the beginning to the end. We're talking rich, fertile soil that's just bursting with life, the kind of soil that makes your green thumb even greener. So grab yourself a warm drink, settle in, and let's get ready to give your garden the winter makeover it deserves. All right, let's talk compost. Compost is like magic for your soil. It's pure garden gold. Think of compost as nature's own slow-release fertilizer. It improves your soil's structure and texture. Plus, it helps beneficial microbes thrive. Making your own compost is rewarding and easy. Just gather kitchen scraps and yard waste, layer them, and turn occasionally. In a few months, you'll have rich compost ready to nourish your garden. It's one of the best things you can do for your soil all year round. Let's talk about another one of nature's little gifts, manure. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Manure? Isn't that a little, well, potent? And yes, fresh manure can be too strong for your plants, even burn them. That's why we're going to talk about using it the right way. First things first, aged manure is your best friend. Give it at least 6 months to break down, and it transforms from a potential hazard to pure garden gold. You can usually find bags of aged manure at your local garden center, or if you're lucky enough to have a friend with horses or chickens, well, you've hit the jackpot. Just be sure to ask them about their composting practices. You want to make sure it's been properly composted to avoid any unwanted surprises in your garden. Now, when it comes to applying manure, a little goes a long way. Sprinkle it around your garden beds like you're frosting a cake. Just a light dusting will do. Then gently work it into the top few inches of soil. Manure is like a superfood for your soil, packed with nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. All the good stuff your plants need to thrive. It also helps improve soil structure and water retention, creating that perfect environment for healthy roots. Just remember, a little goes a long way. Too much of a good thing can actually harm your plants, so start small and see how your garden responds. You know that feeling of satisfaction when you rake up a big pile of leaves in the fall? Well, before you go bagging them all up for the curb, consider this. Those leaves are gardening gold. That's right, I said it. Leaves are not trash. They're nature's way of mulching and fertilizing your garden for free. Think about it. In a forest, do you see anyone raking up the leaves? Nope. They fall to the ground, decompose, and provide valuable nutrients back to the soil. It's nature's perfect cycle. So, instead of sending those leaves away, let's put them to work in your garden. Now, you can just sprinkle them directly on your garden beds as a natural mulch. This will help insulate your soil, protect it from erosion, and keep those precious weed seeds from sprouting. Or, if you're feeling ambitious, shred those leaves up with a lawnmower and add them to your compost pile. They'll break down faster and add even more nutrients to your compost. It's like tucking your garden in for the winter with a cozy blanket of leaves. And the best part? It's completely free and completely natural. Now, if you really want to give your garden the royal treatment this winter, let me introduce you to the magic of wood chips. I'm talking about those big, chunky pieces of wood, not the tiny, shredded kind you often find in bags. You can usually get free wood chips from local tree trimming companies or arborists. They're often looking for places to dump them, so it's a win-win. Just make sure the wood chips are from untreated trees. Now, here's why wood chips are so great. They act like a sponge, soaking up rainfall and releasing it slowly to your soil. This is especially helpful during the winter months when the ground can get dry and compacted. Plus, as the wood chips decompose, they release nutrients back into the soil, just like a slow-release fertilizer. And because they're so chunky, they allow air to circulate, which is essential for healthy soil. To use wood chips, simply spread a layer about 2 to 3 inches thick on top of your garden beds after you've finished planting. You can even use them around trees and shrubs. Just avoid piling them up against the trunks of your plants, as this can trap moisture and lead to rot. Think of it like giving your garden a cozy blanket of woodsy goodness. It's a simple, natural, and incredibly effective way to protect and nourish your soil all winter long. Now let's talk about one of my favorite winter gardening secrets: cover crops. Think of cover crops as a living blanket for your garden beds. They're like a team of tiny superheroes working hard all winter long to improve your soil. Here's how they work. Instead of leaving your garden beds bare over the winter, you sow them with a mix of beneficial plants. These could be things like clover, winter rye, or hairy vetch, all easy to grow and great for your soil. As these cover crops grow, they help prevent erosion from wind and rain. Their roots also loosen up compacted soil, improving drainage and aeration. And here's the best part. Cover crops actually pull nitrogen from the air and store it in their roots. Then, in the spring, when you're ready to plant your veggies, you simply cut down the cover crops and turn them into the soil. This adds all that stored nitrogen back into the ground, acting like a natural fertilizer for your plants. It's like giving your garden a super-powered boost of nutrients, all thanks to the power of cover crops. It's a simple and incredibly effective way to keep your soil healthy and productive year after year. Now, we've talked a lot about adding things to your soil over the winter, but it's also a great time to do a little soil sleuthing. Think of it like giving your garden a checkup before its long winter's nap. And the best part? It's easier than you might think. You can pick up a simple soil testing kit at most garden centers, or you can send a sample to a lab for more detailed analysis. So, what exactly are we looking for when we test our soil? Well, 2 key things: pH and nutrient levels. pH refers to how acidic or alkaline your soil is, and different plants thrive in different pH ranges. Nutrient levels tell you how much of the essential nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are present in your soil. Knowing your soil's pH and nutrient levels is like having a secret map to garden success. It helps you understand what your soil already has in abundance and what it might be lacking. This way, you can make informed decisions about what amendments to add, like lime to raise the pH or compost to boost organic matter. It's all about working smarter, not harder, in the garden. So take some time this winter to get to know your soil a little better. You'll be amazed at what you discover. Now for my last tip, and it might be the easiest one of all. Let it be. Yes, you heard me right. Sometimes, the best thing we can do for our gardens is to simply step back and let nature do its thing. Think about it. In nature, no one's out there tilling the soil, adding fertilizers, or spraying pesticides. Nature has its own way of creating healthy, thriving ecosystems. So, as tempting as it can be to constantly fuss over our gardens, sometimes the best thing we can do is simply let them be. Let the leaves decompose. Let the worms do their work. Let the soil rest and rejuvenate. Now, I'm not saying you should completely abandon your garden all winter, but I am encouraging you to embrace a little bit of organized chaos. Leave some areas a little messy. Don't be afraid to experiment. Remember, gardening is a journey, not a destination. And sometimes, the most beautiful gardens are the ones that are allowed to evolve a little more naturally. So there you have it, folks. 7 simple, natural, and practically free ways to give your garden the winter care it deserves. Remember, great soil equals great plants. Start building yours today. I'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite winter soil tip? Let us know in the comments. Have you tried using these methods before? What results did you see? And if you found these tips helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more gardening hacks every week. Share this with a fellow gardener who wants better crops next season. See you in the next video.